All right, folks, today we're going to be looking at this 2016 Volvo V60 T5, and I think this is a handsome vehicle. It has that subtle, understated European styling that I do like, and I like the way Volvos looked, and they were good cars back when I was a kid, like in the late 80s and the 90s. Like, basically, they were the Audi of the, I would say, 80s and 90s. So this vehicle, I don't think has a bad angle on it. The back is kind of weird if you're not used to Volvos, but it does have dual exhaust. This is a dirty example. Forgive that, but it says V60 on the back. I mean, it's sleek, it's low slung. We'll start with the trunk, and I'll just say this. I would get 100% an Audi all-road over this vehicle. I do not feel like Volvo is as reliable as it used to be, and I would rather have an Audi, a Mercedes, or a BMW, honestly. I feel like they're almost less reliable than those vehicles because you don't see as many older ones on the road, in my opinion. That may be a little bit of bro science, but nevertheless, we're going to take a look at this one. The interior seems to be clean. This is a decent amount of space. I would call this a smaller midsize or more compact station wagon, crossover, whatever you want to say. I do like this guy here, so if you have something in the back and you don't want the sun to like kill it, you can put this here and it operates relatively well, pretty easy. Like, this has, you know, the same amount of space as a standard trunk, in my opinion. It's not bad. Keep in mind, this is a 2016, so this is not an automatic hatch, but you do have rear parking sensor. I don't believe you have a backup camera on this vehicle. Let me double check that. You do not. So that is not a good time. I do not understand why this Volvo would not have a backup camera. Well, look at the tire size. So these are 17s. And they don't look big. They're like a normal size on a vehicle like this. So I'm kind of surprised they're not a little bit bigger, because usually luxury cars are a bit larger. But anyway, when you get in, you can feel this door is solid and this glass is thicker than normal. So I like this design. I mean, the door is pretty simple. You know, you have the dual tone here. You can see some of this is coming off. They didn't put any trim here, but it appears that all of these are automatic windows. And again, you don't hear creaking and stuff when you open the door. So sitting inside, you do have the kick plate there that says Volvo. That is a nice touch. That is holding up well. I like to see that. You have an electronic parking brake. Maybe the backup camera's a little hidden, because you do have heated seats, and it looks like you have some kind of parking assist here. Interesting. But this looks very old school. But as I've mentioned in other videos, in luxury cars, a lot of times they will, you know, hold on to systems for like 5-6 years at a time. This is kind of scratched up. That's a risk you're taking with that. But I mean, again, this is a 2016, so the layout is pretty cool. As far as being straightforward, this is definitely a European thing where you can punch in buttons, and it makes it safer, quite honestly. So you have a start-stop button here, which is in a good placement. And you have about a half digital dash there, so that's not bad. This screen is a decent size. I mean, this is not a big car, and again, we're looking at 2016. We have a sunroof right here, which is cool. Looks like this is an auto-dimming mirror, and this is a good-sized mirror here with lighting. So I'm not mad at that. This headliner is nice. Everything is holding up well. I know in the past headliners were an issue with Volvo. Somebody told me they're made for cold weather, so they don't handle the heat as well. I don't believe that. I just think some of the mechanical drivetrain complications are super unnecessary. You have two cup holders here, good placement, 12 volt there. I'm surprised you don't have USB charging. Well, that's probably USB in and aux in, but a decent little cubby here. The seats are comfortable. You know, they are kind of slippery, but you have some bolstering here to hold you in place, even though they are slippery. I like this design here. You know, they feel good. You can ride in these for a while. I do feel like I'm sitting a bit lower. This steering wheel is a great size. You know, this footwell has a decent amount of leg room in here. This seat is obviously automatic, and you have 3-seat memory function. So yeah, pretty straightforward here. This is like a foam cover here. You know, the speakers in here are nice. You have one there, one there. So you have at least 6 speakers in this thing. And, you know, here's your lighting here. You just press this button. It is LED lighting. This is a very, very solid vehicle. I will say that. Again, my concerns are with the drivetrain. Sometimes they like turbocharge, supercharge, and then have like, I think some of their cars are like turbocharged, supercharged with like an electrical component to them. All right, so getting in the back is consistent with other luxury vehicles in that footprint is not a good indication of the interior space. You know, the doors are thicker, padding's thicker and everything. So not a ton of room back here. I could move this seat up. Like, I actually moved this one back to, you know, give me a little bit more leg room, but you can fit 4 adults in here comfortably. I think this is faux leather, which I'm fine with. You can wipe it off. You have mat pockets here. These back seats are comfortable and supportive. These headrests here feel really good. The headliner is nice. Like I said, it's holding up well. I like that you have a dome light here, even though you have a sunroof. A lot of manufacturers will put it back here and you can't reach it from the front seat, and so I love that touch. You have a 12-volt back here, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward, and this is a nice touch. It's not super flashy, but it's very solid. So if you keep the mechanicals up, this is a very solid vehicle. The seats aren't gonna wear out. The doors aren't gonna wear out. Okay, and now for the drivetrain. So this vehicle has a 2-liter turbocharged engine with 240 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, and an 8-speed automatic transmission. Okay, so that is a lot of power to be had from a 2-liter turbocharged engine. I mean, this engine compartment doesn't look too crazy, and I am delighted that this has a 8-speed automatic transmission. I think it said like 37 combined. You know, it is direct injection, obviously. It just uses basic green coolant, so that's pretty neat. I mean, I think this is a good example because it has 52,000 miles. You would have to keep this vehicle up, so you want to get a good example. And quite honestly, like in this day and age, I'm not too scared of this drivetrain because it's just turbocharged direct injection. So if it has to go to the dealer and they do like the walnut shaving thing where they clean off the valves and, you know, you don't drive it like you stole it and you get it in good condition, I think this engine and drivetrain will hold up. The 8-speed definitely will get you good fuel economy. You know, the engine won't have to be stressed and strained as much and higher RPM, so I like that. You know, like I said, your coolant is there. I don't know where your windshield washer fluid is. It's right there. Air box is there. I wonder where the battery is. It's probably behind this here, so that's not too bad. I am seeing some things I have questions about, like this right here. You can see some kind of springed engine mount there, something or another. I don't know what that is, but this is kind of a clamshell hood, the way it opens, but you have 2 struts on either side, and I like that it opens high. So if you are doing some work, you have room here. So, you know, and looking at this vehicle, I think my opinion has kind of changed. You probably have forward collision warning because you have these front sensors up here. I forgot to mention that I do like these European style indicators right there. I think those are so nice, especially when you're driving at night. They're just super, super helpful. Very solid car. The paint is holding up well. So yeah, I guess my tune has changed. I still like the Audi Allroad for the design, the layout, and it's probably gonna require just as much maintenance now that I think about it, if not more. I think back in the day, these came with 2.5-liter 5-cylinder engines. If they had that option, a naturally aspirated one, I would like that even better, but not a bad car at all. You have actual exhaust. You have the shark fin. I like the, you know, chrome, use of chrome here. I like the chrome here. A very solid feeling car. Like, those doors feel twice as heavy as mine. But yeah, not bad. I wonder, where is the backup camera?